welcome to the APTA's third Grand Prix event of the season, the Duane Hayden Long Island Invitational, brought to you in part by local support from Long Island Platform Tennis League, Axiom Markets LLC, the Dario family of musical brands, and APTA national sponsors Viking, Save-A-Tree, and Uline. We are live at the Huntington Country Club on Long Island, New York on the APTA network, presented by our live stream production partner, eNet Live. I'm Patty Hogan alongside Brad Easterbrook for an exciting quarterfinal matchup between number 6 seeds Anton Bobytskyi and Marco Grangeiro versus number 4 seeds Martin Bostrom and Sebi Bredberg. Brad, can you tell us about our players?
Absolutely. So on the far court, we have in the red, that's Anton Bobytskyi. He's a teaching professional from Fairfield County, Connecticut. And his partner, Marco Grangeiro, here in the blue striped cap. And he's walking there to the chair. And Marco Grangeiro is the director of platform tennis, another teaching professional at the New Canaan Country Club. And they're our number 6 seed. And on the near side, we have Sebastian Bredberg in the orange cap, kneeling down right there in the green shoes. And he is the director of racket sports, teaching professional from Stanwich Club in Greenwich, Connecticut. And Martin Bostrom, who is the teaching professional at the Field Club of Greenwich. And we have basically a new team versus an established team. All these players know each other very well. They're all from Fairfield County, Connecticut. But Bostrom and Bredberg have been playing many seasons together and have an established partnership. And you got Bobytskyi and Grangeiro, who are really just teaming up for this tournament here. Now they're seeded 6. Bobytskyi, generally speaking, has been playing with Bernard Schumann. And Grangeiro has had multiple partners over the last couple of years. So this should be an interesting match. The big key, I think, is actually going to be that established partnership versus Bobytskyi and Grangeiro. Whether they can figure out who's playing and who's hitting what shot from what part of the court. Bobytskyi typically has been an ad court player, and Grangeiro is going to be playing the ad here, and Bobytskyi into the deuce court. And Bostrom and Bredberg have been working out their game and playing some great matches this year. They had a final round appearance and against Broderick and Palmer, and had match points against them at the Atlantic Classic just weeks ago. So who do you like in this match, do you think?
All right, I'm making a pick, Brad.
You're making a pick, Patty?
I would love to make a pick after 5 games.
All right, sounds perfect. Why don't we take a look at the draw and see how they got here?
And I'm only holding my pick, Brad, because I'm just not that familiar with Bobytskyi's play.
All right, perfect. Well, in the draw, both opponents had tough round of 16 matches. Bobytskyi and Grangeiro had a 3-set war with Bonfili and Farron Cranevitter, and they came through 6-2 in the third. And Bostrom and Bredberg also had a 3-set war with Anderson and Rosenau in the round of 16. So both have been tested, had played some high-pressure points, and the road there is for a spot in the other semifinal, which will be against the winner of Broderick and Palmer against Estes and Lefebvre in the other quarterfinal match that's going on today. So I look for this to be a highly entertaining match. I think Bobytskyi and Grangeiro will slow it down and look for spot offense. Martin Bostrom's one of the purest hitters in the game, can drive the ball off both the forehand and the backhand. And in the past years, you've seen teams dump the ball to Sebastian Bredberg's forehand, but he's had an injury and his shoulder's been better, and he's hitting that much harder these days. Look for a lot of dynamic blitzing out of both Bredberg and Grangeiro, and some great hitting out of Bostrom and Bobytskyi. So we'll look forward to a great match. We'll see if we can find out who's up in the chair. And it looks like our players are about ready to get started. Some dynamic stretching there from Bredberg in the orange cap. And he's nice enough to actually have his name on the back of his sweatshirt there.
Comes in handy. That's Martin Bostrom. Looks like he'll start serving.
Now, Martin Bostrom has one of the better serves on the men's tour. He hits a heavy spin serve down the middle, and then he dumps it wide and mixes it up very hard to tell which it's going to be.
Bostrom and Bredberg toss and electric serve.
All right, here we go.
Brett, I'm leaning my pick toward Bostrom Bredberg. They played a phenomenal Atlantic Classic tournament. And like you said, they went out to Broderick and Palmer in one of the best men's battles matches I've seen in a long time. It was kind of on and off rain, but really they raised their level of play.
15 love.
All right, 15 love. This spot drive there by Grangeiro. Looked like he lost that one in the lights a little bit. Loose probing drive there. Missed that way wide. 30 love.
40 love.
All right, so the first 3 points. I think one of the interesting things to look for in the match is
No good?
Grangeiro and Bobytskyi.
You guys all agree?
Seems
Good.
to be any kind of a confusion on the ball here. Maybe they're checking to see if it's out of round.
I'm not saving the ball, just as long as y'all agree. Good.
All right, he's going to take the other ball. They're going to switch balls here. Okay, we'll see if Bostrom wants to take a serve here first.
No problem. 40 love.
He's going to go right into it. Oh, he's going to have a little hit around there with, so Grangeiro can catch the ball. Looks like we're good to go.
$40-15.
All right, first fault of the match. Again, for our viewers, this is Martin Bostrom serving this game.
$40-30.
Oh, loose backhand roller. It's always this feeling out period in the first games.
Looks like they're adjusting to the lighting a little bit out here as well, Brad.
First game goes to Bostrom and Bredberg. They lead 1 love.
Smart shot there by Sebi. Nice drop shot. I think it was an ill-advised drive there by Bobytskyi. He's not used to playing that side. I think that's going to be one of the keys to the match, Patty, is how Bobytskyi and Grangeiro develop their offense in the backcourt.
And both players prefer to play the ad, so Marco has a nod for much more of experience, so I guess he got fielder's choice and took the ad court.
Well, they practice this way, and I think this is what they decided on. This will be interesting here. Martin Bostrom's got one of the best returns in the game. How they play it will be interesting. He's attacking blitz, goes for the cutter, and misses it long.
15 love. Bobytskyi, Grangeiro.
All right, Anton Bobytskyi serving.
So Bredberg out of the ad court, Brad, one of the fastest players on tour, one of the steadiest players on tour, but I think this year he's looking to hit a little bit more than in the past, and
Absolutely is.
help them elevate their level of
30
play.
love.
Now you'll see Bredberg do a lot of blitzing behind Bostrom's return there. You'll see him move in for quick dinks and blitzes, but he's also driving his forehand much more than he has in the past with greater effectiveness.
And Bostrom and Bredberg have played both sides of the court, Brad, during tournament play the last couple of years. They kind of will settle into where they're feeling stronger at the time, and this year it's mostly with Martin playing the deuce court.
Absolutely. That gives Martin a huge backhand in the middle and gives him a lot of offensive opportunities.
40
They're missing some
love.
cut overheads here to start off. It's a 40 love game, but you wouldn't say on the strength of great lobs or shot making yet from Bobytskyi and Grangeiro. They're just missing those cutters right now.
Game Bobytskyi, Grangeiro. First set tied 1-1.
All right, 1 game all. Bredberg to serve. Incredible try at the dig there. Great roller into the corner.
15 love.
Yeah, Bostrom has a good mix of overheads. He can change and go from the cutter to the roller. It's one of the things you'll see on all the high-level teams, that ability to go from one shot to the next, to keep putting pressure on the backcourt team.
Talked about that, Brad, a couple of matchups ago when we were on the air together, and it just seems like the top teams can win points with a combination of overheads.
Yeah, they put a lot more pressure to the backcourt team. All right, we might have a discrepancy on the call here.
15 all.
Calling it 15 all. Bostrom Bredberg called it out. Umpire overrules.
15 all.
Okay, 15 all.
15-30.
15-40, double break point. Nice low drive there from Grangeiro.
$30-40.
He's shaking that one off. You see Bobytskyi, he had the look. Disappointed he missed it in the net.
Game, Bostrom, Bredberg, they lead 2-1.
2 faults, and that leads to our first break.
Excuse me. Bobytskyi, Grangeiro, they lead 2-1.
See the umpire correcting the score. Bobytskyi and Grangeiro get the break. They're up 2-1. Marco Grangeiro to serve the next game.
Brad, we've got an exciting quarterfinal on the court. One over from this court with Broderick and Palmer. The report I got was that they lost the first set to Estes and Lefevre.
Yeah,
so
they lost to the tiebreaker 7-6.
Oh, they did lose it 7-6, and I don't know where they are in the second set. Look forward to getting an update on that one.
Oh yeah, that would be, needless to say, a huge upset if Estes and Lefevre can pull that match out. Right there, when I saw a little bit, we got Grangeiro to serve here, and I'll talk about it in a second. See our first switch of the game there. You'll see Bostrom and Bredberg do that in the backcourt.
And that's Bostrom in the near court, ad court right now with the navy top. Sebi Bredberg right there with the orange hat. It's Anton Bobytskyi right now out of the ad corner.
All right, misses that
Love
screenshot.
15.
Marco Grangeiro with the orange paddle hitting the overheads.
No, I think he just went over his paddle and went out, so that's 15 all. Couldn't tell if Grangeiro hit that, but he did not, so that ball was out. 15 all.
15-30.
That could be a story too from time to time. It's going to be the serving and the faults. You see the last break, a couple of faults from Bredberg. It's the first fault from Grangeiro.
He's had some serving issues from time to time, but he's so talented. He's got every shot, and he looks like he's swinging out on his serve tonight.
It's a good cut overhead there by Grangeiro. Held it, cut it short. No chance for Bostrom. He loves that shot off the screen, Bobytskyi. That's his best shot, that screen drive from the ad court.
40-30.
All right, point to go up 3-1 for Bobytskyi Grangeiro. There's the backcourt switch again by Bostrom Bredberg. What they're going to do there, they think they can get some offense and create a different look there from the net team and hopefully catch it where Martin can get a ball to drive through the middle.
Deuce.
Long. Gave him the spike. And I think it's always wise against Sebastian to keep the ball lower. He loves the high ball that he can drive down. It's usually wise against anybody. There's the huge return of
Add
Bostrom.
out.
All right, break point for a 2-all for Bredberg. That's a great shot. Wisely left by Bobytskyi. Great lob back. They keep switching in the backcourt. That's the high ball you do not want to give him. Ooh.
Deuce.
Deuce. This hits that soft roller there, trying to get it into the side screen and make it die. Deuce.
Out. Add in.
All right, ball was called out, confirmed by the umpire. Advantage Grangeiro for a 3-1 lead.
Deuce.
That was a good play there from Grangeiro. Designed. Bobytskyi looks for the poach, doesn't have it. Grangeiro stays back to look for the screen down. He had a good look, Patty. He just missed it.
This kind of feels like a classic Bostrom Bredberg match so far, Brad, where you see Sebi moving around a lot, hitting a lot of off-speed, finesse kinds of shots, probing shots. And Martin's just waiting over there to take a big swing on the ball.
Yeah, Martin, Bostrom definitely, it's one of the heaviest balls off both sides, forehand and backhand. There's that high ball again. Careful giving that to Sebastian Bredberg.
So, Brad, they don't mean to give it to him. What do they have to do to avoid giving him that?
Add
I
out.
think they should start letting the overheads drop a little bit and play them long and low and deeper instead of hitting the ball down. Break point now.
So it's that down-up overhead, and it's just not getting to two screens, and it's going right into Sebi's wheelhouse.
Game,
there's the fault.
Bostrom, Bredberg. Score is 2-2 in the first set.
All right, still a little feeling out period.
I've got one more game to make my pick, Brad.
One more game, and then I'm holding you to that, Patty. I want to hear what you got. And then I'll give you my pick, too. See, and that's the stuff you watch out for, that they've been cutting down on Bostrom and Bredberg. Just a loose overhead error there. Just back.
It's out. Out.
They're asking for a confirmation
15
from the
all.
umpire, who delivers it. 15 all.
$30-15.
35. He liked the look of that forehand, but he's netted 2 of them. He's going to have to finish up, try to get a little net clearance.
$40-15.
Who's ever winning 3-2? They're my pick for the match, Brad.
All right. I guess it's all up to Bobytskyi and Grangeiro to make the break here. That's that great backhand off the screen. That is Bobytskyi's favorite shot that I've seen. He hits it really well and moves the ball from spot to spot.
40-30.
All right, one more to deuce. Grangeiro misses the
Game,
return.
Bostrom, Bredberg. Bobytskyi, Grangeiro serving at 2-3.
All right, so why don't you tell us about our sponsors here, Patty?
Once again, thanks to Viking Athletics. Viking Athletics is the premier brand and the undisputed leader in platform tennis. Viking is platform tennis. The Viking Extra Duty Platform Ball has been the #1 selling ball in the industry for the last 20 years. It is the official ball of the APTA Nationals, President's Cup, the Grand Prix Tour, and the Junior Nationals. Brad, so my pick, Bostrom Bredberg.
There you go. They're my pick as well. But right now, I like the pace that it's going at for Grangeiro and Bobytskyi. And, you know, we're going to see if it continues. There's the great return. If that heats up, that'll put a lot of pressure on the backcourt game of Grangeiro and Bobytskyi, because they're going to constantly let the ball go through, and Bredberg and Bostrom are going to be at the net all the time. Oh, he cuts it off, gets there. Bredberg thought that was out. That's the shot.
Sweet.
You do not
15
want to
love.
give Bobytskyi. You've seen him hit that 3 times now, that screen drive. He is exceptional at that shot.
And even though you know he has that shot, it's amazing how fast that ball came
30
off his
love.
paddle and was already on their paddle.
Yep, there goes Bredberg unloading on the forehand. 30 love. Smart lob volley, another missed
40
overhead.
love. Game,
Seems like-
Bobytskyi,
Well, you said,
Grangeiro.
you know, it's uncharacteristic
Score is
misses, going for
3-3.
more. So it's 3-all now in that first set. Few too many gifts, I think. See if that changes. One team tightens up. Whoever does is likely to take this first set.
Just
Love
when I made my
15.
pick, all of a sudden, Grangeiro.
You just flipped the
Bobytskyi
momentum
caught
right there,
fire,
Patty.
Brad.
Well, they're my pick as well. We're both going down
Love
or not?
30.
All right, love 30.
Well, I think we both assume that Bostrom and Bredberg won't make a ton of unforced errors. I think Bostrom will make more than Sebi. Historically, that's been the case. But they've had like 6 or 7 really loose kind of errors that you can't afford to make as you go deeper in the draw. You're never going to get through a semi.
15-30.
Yeah, not if you want to win. No. I mean, it's been loose 15-30. Be good to get out of this game, but they're going to have to tighten it up.
I'll tell you, Brad, after seeing those backhand drives from Bobytskyi, it would be curious to see as this match goes
30
on
all.
if he does play some more points out of that ad court.
Well, I think they have no problem switching in the backcourt either, so if they get caught that way, they'll play, but I
40-30.
don't think they're going to be looking to. All right, that's 3 gifts back, though, that Grangeiro and Bobytskyi gave him. You know, so it's a little bit of gifts here and gifts back, you know, so far in this match.
Brad, it is the holiday season, and, you know, there's going to even be re-gifting going on.
You think that's it? They're just in the holiday
Deuce.
spirit, Patty?
I think so.
All right, it's deuce. Nice spot drive there. Grangeiro does a great job of holding his drive.
Add out.
A lot of faults so far. Good dipping drive there from Bobytskyi. You'll see him at a lot of those dipping, probing drives, not going for a huge one usually. The biggest drive he tends to hit is off that screen. Switching in the backcourt, trying to set up the backhand drive for Bobytskyi.
Deuce.
Maybe that lob wasn't quite high enough to make the switch there, Patty, because he got him caught in transition.
Add in.
That's the left court dribbler for a winner. Game for 4-3 for Bredberg. Point for 4-3.
Deuce.
Third fault in this game. Wow.
Add in.
2 in a row.
2 in a row. That's pretty impressive.
I think he should stand in on Sebi's serve. What do you think,
Just
Brad?
get ready to cover the leg court.
I think so.
Stand right at the service line.
Brand new
Serves
paddle
it underhand
strategy.
this time just to get it in the box. I don't even think it was fear of the return. I think it's just lack of confidence in the serve right now because there's been so many faults.
Deuce.
Strange miss. Kind of a routine screen for these guys.
Yeah, he let it get too close to the side wire. You see Sebastian Bredberg move off to the side there to give Bostrom room to hit the cutter. There he ducks.
Fred, if he doesn't duck, Bostrom can't hit the cutter. True?
You know, there's just not enough space. It takes a wide arcing swing to hit those cutter shots, so you need space to hit it. Good roller as he goes for the hard one at his feet. Well played there by Grangeiro.
Add out.
Really
Great
tough
point.
overhead that just died on that back corner.
Well, he took a risk when he went the hard one at the body, went by Grangeiro, but he played it really well. Now Grangeiro doing the same shot, and Bredberg misses it.
Game. Bobytskyi, Grangeiro. They lead 4-3. New ball.
So there's the break, and you'll see players do that from time to time just to change the tempo on a point. Smash it hard on the screen to get the backcourt team to run and play a shot on a run. Oftentimes when they do that, Patty, they'll just back up because they know the drive's coming, and it's tough when the guy's that close to the net. So you hope, actually, you get exactly what happens there, and Bredberg missed that ball long. And if he makes it, you just run back, put up a lob, and play from the backcourt.
You know, when you think that power overhead that, comes out so far in the court wouldn't be a problem for Bredberg in that corner because he's so fast. But it's, the combination of shots that he was kind of leaning against the back screen before the shot. So even he had to play big time catch up to run that ball down.
All right, Grangeiro got broken in his first game.
Love 15.
See if he can hold here.
All.
Both Bostrom and Bredberg are Swedish. We expect they have a large contingency on the live streaming from Sweden watching this.
I think this is the #1 show right now in Sweden, Brad.
Could very well be. So I don't think I know any of the other shows in Sweden.
30-15.
35 goes for a short dink over it. Just a lack of execution right now. A lot of loose errors.
And for Bobytskyi and Grangeiro, this is a great start to this match. It was
30-15.
really important for them to keep this match close in the early going, feel their way out here, and I think they're doing a good job.
And I think it'll be crucial for them to take advantage of these loose errors too and grab this first set.
40-15.
All right, so we just got an update. We were talking earlier about Broderick Palmer versus Estes Lefebvre, and Estes Lefebvre took that first set 7-6 in amazing playing by Nathan Lefebvre in that one, and but Broderick and Palmer just won the second set 6-4. So we'll keep you updated on the other quarterfinals as well. Great cutter finish
40-30.
there. 40-30. Still game point for Grangeiro. 5-3 lead. Let cord, great shot, but again, that high ball, you do not want to give that to Bredberg. Keep the ball low. You can even hit slow in the middle. Just don't give him the ball high. Good high lob there. One of the things you'll see Bredberg do less of than some of the other players, he won't crawl up that side wire looking for a big forehand. He'll tend to let it go to the screen and maybe play a little backhand drive or a backhand roll followed by a blitz. You'll see some other players look for a forehand out wide. Well, there's a loose forehand there now. And a break point now to get back to 4-all for Bredberg. Oh, stabbing at that
Game
volley. It
goes
should have
to
been
Bredberg.
Bobytskyi's there.
The
He
score
was
is
right on top of the
4-4
net.
in the first set.
So, second straight time Grangeiro was broken on his serve. And
Yeah, so
they
far
kinda
we've
gave
had
it away.
2 breaks, you know, from Bredberg serve and 2 breaks on Grangeiro serve. Great heavy
Love
roller,
15.
but too hard off the screen. Great shot by Grangeiro. He does a good job changing the pace too. Hits it hard, fast one time, holds it, slows it down with a blitz behind it the next time. Hard one. Bredberg couldn't handle the volley of 15.
Yep. 15 all.
All right, 5 all.
$30-15.
It's a good try. I think that's a good ball for Bobytskyi to hit coming off the screen.
Brad, you keep talking about how these guys hit a roller or a cutter. Can you explain those different kinds of overheads?
Absolutely. You know, you can
30
either
all.
cut around and
Okay.
under the ball with your overhead to put spin on it, or you can
30
put
all.
the head of the paddle underneath the ball and brush up on it. And when you brush up on the ball, we call those rollers. And when you're cutting the ball down into the side, we call those
40-30.
cutters, basically. And, you know, you'll notice basically by the preparation, the cutters will be hit from up high with the paddle. The rollers, the players will drop the paddle down low underneath the ball and brush up on it.
When they hit a roller, they might hit, what's the grip, Brad? More of how someone might turn their paddle down
Get
toward the
more
court?
closer to the western grip. Don't give them that high ball. There it is again.
If I want to master my cutter, Brad, I let the ball drop low, which shouldn't be a problem for me, but what grip should I use?
There you'd want to use a continental or even go further over more towards it would be considered an eastern backhand grip to get extra spin.
It's great information from our PPTA president, Brad Easterbrook.
Great lob there.
Deuce.
All right, he tried to hold it and flick it, mishit it into the net. Another deuce point. You see where Bobytskyi's setting up into the other court because Bostrom has such a spin on that serve, and he got burned the last time with an ace by Bostrom. That is a great leaping
Add in.
dunk by Bredberg there.
Game,
Just out.
Bostrom, Bredberg, they lead 5-4.
All right, now the pressure's back on. You've had, you know, basically some opportunities there for Grangeiro and Bobytskyi. Now they got to serve to stay in the set.
Shout out to our sponsors, Viking, Uline, and Save-A-Tree. APTA has some great new initiatives. We started with the League Championships in April last year out in Chicago, and thanks to the APT's support of that, and our member leagues around the country were able to offer a USTA tennis-style kind of team competition toward the end of the season.
Yeah, it's going to be a tremendous event where players are playing at different ratings, and it's great for all the amateur players and players of all levels.
Love
Not sure what the call is.
15.
Love 15.
think it
I'm
went
not
off
sure if the
his-
ball went out or if it actually hit Grangeiro.
Yeah, I think it hit his handle and his hand possibly.
Great move in the blitz.
Love 30.
Great play. That happened. It popped out of the crease, and Sebi got right behind it and stuffed it. He's a great blitzer, Bredberg. Love 30.
We always talk about the swings of momentum, Brad, and here we are. Yeah. Bredberg and Bostrom have kind of gotten it together here, and I think their intensity has picked up here, and they're up 5-4, 30 love. First set, quarterfinals, APTA, Grand Prix event, Long Island,
Love
Duane,
40.
Hayden, Invitational.
All right, triple set point now for Bostrom and Bredberg. We'll see if Bredberg generally doesn't take a huge cut on the return. He's going to put it back in play with the lob. Doesn't want to miss it.
15-40.
I think Bostrom was afraid that ball was going into the crease, so he tried to cut it off. I think I would have let it go and called for help. Tough roller there. There's a roller, and there is the first set.
Game and
Bredberg.
set, Boston Bredberg.
You know, it's an
They
interesting
win
set,
the
Patty.
first
What do you
set
think
6
about it?
games to 4.
Brad, I think that our prediction's looking good so far.
Well, I think the fact that, you know, Grangeiro and Bobytskyi didn't take advantage of those early errors made a huge difference. So we'll see what happens going, you know, forward in the second.
Brad will be back just after this moment, after these messages right here on the APTA network, presented by eNet Live.
You have to have a passion for taking care of the customer, and you have to do your job as if your last name was Uline.
Welcome back to the Duane Hayden Long Island Invitational. We are in the quarterfinals. Match between Bostrom and Bredberg. They won the
Boston
first set
Bredberg will
6-4
begin serving the second
over
set. They
Bobytskyi
won
and
the first set
Grangeiro.
6 games to 4.
Now we had Bredberg struggling with his serve, so Bostrom's going to start again in this set. Even though it's the other side that starts with a loose overhead.
Love 15.
Like we said, it's the season of giving, Brad. And Martin and Sebi are generous, you know. But they've got to tighten up their play. I mean, they're so good, but they might, you know, you just can't afford to make this many unforced errors.
Well, they still were able to squeeze out that first game and, you know, that first set. And that's one of the marks of a really good team, you know, is to be able to win and come through even when you're not necessarily your best. You know, we saw that
Love
probably a little
30.
in that great quarterfinal match before between Ryan Morneau against Doyen Regan, where Ryan Morneau got through in 2 tight sets, being down in both of them.
15-30.
Maybe a little low, even though Bobytskyi loves that backhand drive off the screen. Also hit a seam, great track by Bobytskyi.
That's Martin Bostrom. He just hit a cutter, Brad.
Yeah,
That's
cutter around
Sebi
the-
Bredberg ducking at the net on the far side. The bright yellow sneakers. That's Marco Grangeiro over in that ad court with the orange paddle, and that's Bobytskyi.
Oh,
Anton
nice
Bobytskyi.
control.
15-40.
Second overhead error in this game.
But it is interesting the styles everybody has out here, Patty. We watched a match before in our round of 16 between Burke and McNerney against Ben Sheila Burris when they were basically refusing to go for a shot that they were going to miss. And the points were going for minutes at a time. Whereas you definitely see that, you know, Bostrom is not afraid to go for a ball, hit a cutter, and even if it means he's going to make a few errors, he wants to go for more, put more pressure on the other team. There are many ways to skin a cat, as they say. Wow, getting them to work in that backcourt with these spins.
Five incredible screen pickups off the back there, Brad.
Yeah, great digging here by Grangeiro and Bobytskyi.
Brad, how do they make so many of these screens that look close to impossible for most players at home?
Well, it starts with great fundamentals and footwork. Basically, you want to set that paddle low, and once you realize where it goes, you're just moving your feet and trying to get the paddle under the ball so you can lift the ball up. The mistake a lot of club players make is they don't set their paddle down underneath it right away.
30-40.
That was a good look and a great get by Bobytskyi, and Grangeiro took a little off. He wanted to go for a soft volley there, and he netted it. Great spin overhead. Nice drop.
Deuce.
Deuce. Grangeiro likes the exchange to net. He's very good at it. Couldn't quite get his paddle on that one. Again, look at Bobytskyi's serving position into the other court. Spin overhead there. Nice.
Add in.
And you got to get those lobs up high, but the spin of Bostrom is making it hard for Grangeiro and Bobytskyi to control the lobs, get them high enough and deep enough. Game point now.
Deuce.
Deuce.
It's a roller coaster first game here for Bostrom and Bredberg. I think we've had 3 overhead errors, Brad. Probably 3 too many in any one game. You just don't see that many of the top players miss that many overheads. But I think it's a little adjusting to the lights here. The lights look
Add
a
out.
little bit spotty, and you see some bright spots on the court and then some darker spots. And sometimes with these quick exchanges, it's hard to pick up the ball.
Game Bobytskyi Grangeiro. They lead 1-0 in the second set.
All right. That was good for Bobytskyi and Grangeiro to be able to capitalize there and get that game. They had 15-40, got back to deuce, and they were able to get that. So that's a good start for them. You see Bostrom as he walks back to the baseline, practicing his cut overheads a little bit more, the form that he needs to do it too.
Brad, we have lots of matches still underway over here at Huntington Country Club, and they've done a great job. Great hospitality shown to everyone, and there's a giant cocktail party going on, viewing from the paddle deck on the other side.
15-0.
Yeah, it's one of the reasons this is the host club. They got a great viewing deck up high. The courts are sunken down low here. It's hard to see now in the darkness here. But there's a big hill up top. The courts are sunken. You got these great viewing from up top. You can see all 5 courts here. So it's a great party up there, and they throw a great party at the Duane Hayden Long Island Invitational.
And Brad, I walked over in between matches. I saw Steve Griggs, who's involved with the program, up in Connecticut at the Como Center, and he and Trish are helping us out with the juniors, Brad. They hosted an event early in the season. Jim Kaufman, great player, drove over here today to come out and watch the matches. Scott Estes and Janice came out to watch Scott Jr.
That's a who's who up in the stands, basically.
It's really fun. And
30
of course,
love.
Dan Englander's here.
He was in the draw as well. Had a great match, actually, against Montalbano and Stulak in the round of 32.
Wow. Roll
30-15.
Great change-up.
Yeah, Bobytskyi's been working on that, and he'll pull it out. He likes it. It's not easy for players to drive, yet Bostrom, being one of the purest hitters in the game, had no problem with that one.
Really surprised Marco hung that.
Well, again,
that down-up overhead to Sebi.
Multiple times. Do not hit the ball down.
Right, and
Push the
Sebi's
ball
got his
deep
cat
and
in the
low.
hat
Right.
socks on here. I mean, he just seems to he can spring up from anywhere on the court.
He's a great athlete.
Just doesn't seem like a wise play.
$40-15.
All right, point for a 2-love lead here for Bobytskyi and Grangeiro. And that's Bobytskyi serving, going again to the roller serve to the other side. All right, not smart there to hit that ball
40-30.
from way back behind the baseline. And Sebi's waiting for something like that. Easy drop shot winner. No chance for Grangeiro to cover. Pop that one up. Reset your team in the backcourt. Wow. All right.
Game Bobytskyi,
Great
Grangeiro.
shot
They
there by
lead
Grangeiro
2-love
for
in the second set.
2-love lead. I think if Bredberg had that one again, he was trying to hit him in the feet. He should have gone a little lower pace, just played it behind him. But that was a terrific transition shot. All right, so we got some more reports on some scores with Hughes and Powers up in their quarterfinal match against Burka and McNerney. They're up 4 games to 3 in the first set. We'll keep you updated as the matches progress. We don't have a third set score yet for the Estes Fair match against Broderick and Palmer. Nice drive
15
there
all.
by Grangeiro. 15 all. Ooh, well read by
15-30.
Bostrom. Just push the volley a little wide. You don't see Grangeiro and Bobytskyi switching back. All right.
15-40.
2 more break points now for Bobytskyi. Grangeiro, and there's the break on the
Game
fault.
Bobytskyi, Grangeiro. They lead 3 games to love.
Well, that is a great start for Bobytskyi and Grangeiro here. 3-love in the second set. And there were opportunities in the first 2. We'll see if they can keep capitalizing and keep rolling.
Brad, we talk about pace of play all the time, and it seems that Sebi and Martin have to slow this down now. All of a sudden, the momentum's totally swung. They kind of hung on and won that first set, and all of a sudden they're in a hole here, down love 3, third set. I mean, in the second set. And it seems like the faster they go, the more errors they're making.
Yeah, you might be right there. I mean, whether slow it down or tighten it up, whatever's going to happen, the errors have got to stop. So if they have to slow it down a little, then that's probably a great idea. Just to, especially on the overheads, that's where we're seeing most of, a lot of the errors actually. Not so much backcourt drives or this or that. I think we've seen at least 8, 9, 10 overhead errors.
Grangeiro serving, up 3 love. First set, and that was Martin Bostrom out of the deuce court, hitting the drive. Unfortunately, he hit that drive in the net.
There's another high ball that Bredberg pushes down. He's so good at that. Good get. Nice cut overhead by Grangeiro.
30 love.
Tried to make a pinpoint lob down the line, just missed it.
$40 love.
All right. 3 points to go up 4 love in this second set. Play off the crease there by Bredberg.
Game, Bobytskyi, Grangeiro. They leave 4 games to 0. New ball.
All right, so they are switching balls. What is it, every 7
Every
games
7
here, Patty?
games. And that could be the greatest thing to happen to Bostrom and Bredberg. Because right now their level of play is...
Whoa, we got a little juggling act going on
why I'm
there.
up
Ray
here.
Lombardi trying to give new balls up there to our chair umpire.
Sorry.
Here we try number 2. There we go, successfully completed.
But Bostrom Bredberg's level of play has gone way down. So many loose errors here, and they're in a big hole.
And we'll see if they can tighten up to come back, or maybe they're going to go for it and put their energy into the third. We'll see. But coming back and paddle really sometimes is just getting rid of 1 or 2 of the errors, tighten it up, and you can turn the tables right back on your opponents.
And hold serve for the first time in a set. That's a great way to start the comeback.
Perfect way to start. It starts with 1 game, as they say. A nice get, but
15
can't
love.
convert.
Not sure why he felt he had to go for that ball.
$30 love.
Tough jamming serve. Grangeiro's very good at one-timing that return, taking it early. Just a little late on that one.
30-15.
I was going to say, Grangeiro, just put the ball in play right here. Bostrom and Bredberg are just struggling.
All right, so we got some more updates on the matches. Hughes and Powers win the first set against McNerney and Burka, 6 games to 3 in their quarterfinal round. All right, and Broderick is serving down 2-3 in the third set against Lefer and Estes. So that one's going down to the wire. That's great.
Well, Estes is a former national champion, high-level player. He comes out here. He's one of the game's
40-15
great competitors. There's no one who hates losing a point more than Scott Estes Jr.
Great competitor and a great gentleman. Always a pleasure to play against him. All right.
Whoa, 40-15.
Yep, they just got a call out. I was about to mention that. It says 40-15. Umpire catches them serving from the wrong side, stops them. Play continues from the proper side. Great volley there from Bredberg. Great read on that crease ball by Bostrom.
×2. He did it right again. Ball came out on Nick. Effortless play. I like this play by Sevi, throwing some higher lobs up.
40-30.
Just missed that wide.
But I like the play.
Yep. I love the style Sebi has, Sebastian Bredberg, on that dunk he hits. He gets elevated up into the air and dunks it down.
Deuce.
Good look on the forehand there from Bostrom, but nets it. So now we're back to deuce.
Add out.
All right, break point now for a 5-love lead for Bobytskyi and Grangeiro. Great drop shot there. That play happened 2 points ago where Bredberg's looking for that short ball, that short 3/4 drive, and cutting it off for a drop. Deuce.
Add in.
Bobytskyi asking for clarification from the umpire, who delivers it. Ball was called out. Advantage Bostrom. Another great drop. Bostrom's
Game,
calling him, tell him to leave
Bostrom,
it.
Bredberg.
Well left. That was a
Bobytskyi,
huge
Grangeiro lead
game
4
just to
games
get
to
started
1.
in the match here. Down 4-1 is a lot different than down 5-love. So that was big. I think at 5-love it might have been quite a tall order. Although, Patty, I know you've come back from 5-love down before. It's not easy for mere mortals. But
Brad, you're too kind.
so we should go on here. The winner of this match is going to play the winner of the Broderick Palmer and Estes LaFair match. And that'll be our semifinal. We're going to have live streaming tomorrow after today's quarterfinal action at 9 a.m. of the men's semifinal here at the Duane Hayden Long Island Invitational. All right, let's see if they can build a little here, Bostrom Bredberg. Down 4-1.
I love the serve,
15
Brad.
love.
I've played against it. Anton, he hits it. It's an awkward ball to drive. It doesn't come up as high. He loves mixing it. He's gotten very good with
30
it.
love.
2 missed drives there. 30 love. Great cutter. It's a good roller there from Bostrom. ball's hit out of the court, which is a
30,
loss of the
15.
point for Bobytskyi and Grangeiro. Goes for the hard overhead. All right, so now it's 30-15.
30-15.
Great help call and great get there by Bredberg. Wow.
Oh my God, so fun.
Oh,
to
did
watch.
he
30
win
all.
that point? Well done by Bredberg, making circus gets, and then following it up with a dink and blitz out of nowhere. Great play. Incredible.
30-40.
The roller serve down the middle, and quickly we are at a break point here. This would be huge for Bostrom Bredberg to string 2 games in a row here.
Game, Bostrom, Bredberg. They're serving at 2-4.
All right, a little momentum shift here, Patty. Let's see if they can keep building. Bredberg's had struggles with his service game here today. See if he can hold.
Love.
Great job by
All right, so-
Bostrom keeping that ball low.
He did, and that's a huge thing when you get a player moving forward. When the ball's under the net, you know, most pros would tell you to lob that ball and don't go for anything. Pop it up, get back, because it's just a harder shot to make. All right, so we got another report from Jerry Viant that it's 3 games all in the
30 love.
Broderick Palmer match, our number 2 seeds against SC's in the favor.
Big swing in momentum again now, Brad. The last
30-15.
6 points, 7 points. And all
There's
set.
that fault, 30-15.
Another gift.
Yep.
Just when you
Played this
think they're
service
gonna
game so far.
String points together.
Well, that's got to be the motto. Each individual point, string it together, no gifts for Bostrom Bredberg. And for Grangeiro and Bobytskyi, they got to keep putting the pressure on them. And, you know, make these guys keep playing. Good long points. Look for their spot drives. Screen drive. Well done.
Wow.
Great
40-15.
job there. Not an easy shot from Bredberg. And I think Bostrom threw a little screen in there
I think
with
it
a
was a hockey.
slightly late switch. And it looked like Grangeiro couldn't pick it up. 45. Huge.
Game, Bostrom,
4-3.
Bredberg.
3 games in a row.
Grangeiro
Kind of
serving
ran
at
that
4
screen,
games to
and
3.
I think that really impacted play. And kudos to Sebi's play in the last 2 games here, Brad. He's
Yep, it was
really
great.
helped turn the tide.
Oh, that play he made with the digs and then the dink blitz
Just a-
to finish that point. That was incredible. Game before. All right, now, as Grangeiro and Bobytskyi go, what do you think's going through their head here, Patty? They
They
look
can't believe the
calm.
turn of events here.
They
I
look
think
calm.
They were looking, thinking, all right, they're pretty close to taking this to a 3rd set. And then all of a sudden, Sebi raised his level of play there. Kudos to Sebi for stepping up, actually. He kind of created some havoc there and executed some beautiful shots. So this is a big game on Grangeiro's serve now, all of a sudden. Up 4-3, 2nd set.
Oh, great pickup half volley there from Bredberg.
Grangeiro struggled to hold serve in the 1st set here.
Yep.
And this is as big a time as any for him to
There's the
you know,
switch in the
hope they can
backcourt.
get it into a 3rd.
Oh, what a great
15
move.
love.
The dip and blitz. He read it perfectly and netted the ball. But what a play. again, they got to be careful. Let those overhead drop. Push them deep. Don't hit them down. Don't let them run forward. Hit the ball from high to low.
Here we go
And
again.
there we go again. But nicely transitioned there by Grangeiro. Was able to hit a good shot back and keep the net.
Wow.
Great hit. Well, one of the purest hitters in the game.
15 all.
Marco's overhead was a little weird. He didn't get a lot behind the ball.
I think he mishit it, Patty.
$15-30.
30. So it'd be a big point for 30 all, or 2 break points here from Bostrom and Bredberg. Pressure on the server. It's a
Really
good
good
deep
deep
serve. Another beautiful high backhand down with the blitz behind it from Bredberg. It's one of his signature plays. He's one of the best at those.
15-40.
All of a sudden, Marco's looking a little out of sorts here. Kind of fidgeting. Took his glove off to a serve ago, Brad, which is kind of strange in the middle of the game now.
Game
There's-
Bostrom Bredberg. The score is now 4-4 in the second set.
All right, time to stop the bleeding now. They got up to the 4-love lead. You don't see any bad body language or anything from Grangeiro, but there is a little bit of a worried feel out there on the court for sure.
Well, they've lost 4 games in a row. And yeah, we thought it was going 3, and it's maybe not.
Great transition ball there from Bostrom, and nice drive spotted there by Grangeiro.
Shout out to the ENET guys. They've been on the air here for hours and hours. I think we went on the air today at 9 o'clock, and they've been working nonstop, doing a great job this on this Saturday with our coverage. The Duane Hayden Invitational on Long Island.
Yep, Kelly, Josh, Blake just doing an amazing job for us. Nice ball there by
Love
Grangeiro,
15.
perfectly placed into the crease at the right pace. You can see Bredberg yelled help, but not on that one. That was just too well done. Ooh,
15 all.
right in his wheelhouse, tried to spot it, just missed it wide.
I think he's got to put his glove back on, Brad.
Yeah, the glove off, the glove on. It's a tough call.
But seriously, we have had a huge momentum swing, and now Bobytskyi and Grangeiro seem a little bit out of sorts here. And they've not played many competitive matches together, and you know, your point early on about the teamwork that Bostrom and Bredberg have developed through playing thousands of sets together.
No, absolutely. You know, they're great partners, and the partnership continues to grow. And that's one of the reasons why we did make the picks. You know, just think it does make a difference playing with somebody you're used to playing with in those pressure moments. Wow, great get by Bobytskyi, tracking down that ball so fast. Great lob. You notice at the high level, players transition back all the time without any pressure or feel. They know we're going to go back. Now we're going to play from the backcourt. I think it's, you know, at the club level, oftentimes people think if you lose the net, you're in bad shape, but it really isn't the case. Great move there.
Oh my gosh, what a dig by Sevi. Oh, great spot by Martin.
30-15.
had some control of the point. Martin flipped it to the forehand side, made Grangeiro flip his paddle, and he couldn't execute the volley. Just netted right in the top.
30-15.
But what a phenomenal get by Bredberg there to keep
It
that
was a
point
great
going.
get and a sneaky, sneaky move to the net there by Grangeiro. He's a great, great sneaky blitzer. Great serve. Very hard to drive Bostrom serve in that ad court. So feeling the level start to rise. We haven't seen an air and overhead in quite some time.
Oh my.
Well, there's an air and overhead, but it goes for a
40-15.
winner off the top of his paddle. Oh my goodness. Oh, if we can catch that from our production crew here, we'd love to show you that again at the end of the game.
Bostrom knows he was so lucky.
He was
to
off the
get
top
that
of the
ball in
paddle.
play. So now he's up 40-15, 4-all.
And the out
Game,
drive. So
Bostrom, Bredberg, they
huge,
lead
5 games in a
5-4.
row now from Bostrom Bredberg. Let's see if we can take a look at that miss-hit overhead spin winner there by Bostrom.
Well, what a turn of events here, Brad. 5 games straight for Bostrom Bredberg.
Just got a report, 4-3 for Broderick and Palmer in the third set on a let cord winner. All right, here it is. Let's see, watch this. Top of the paddle, look at this thing. Flutters over the net, takes that's more than a 90-degree turn. Here it is again. There's the overhead in here. It's going to go back. You see Bostrom getting set up to hit another cut overhead. Hits the top of his paddle. Watch this thing go.
Brad, are you going to teach that to your
I
students
don't
this
know. I
week?
guess you could say
Luck
fortune
15.
favors the bold, or you make your own luck. Whatever adage you want to say there. That's a impossible ball to track down. Thanks to our production crew for seeing that again. That was pretty cool.
So we missed the first point of the game, Brad.
So we'll wait for the umpire. He's done an amazing job calling the score for us. And we'll get you that score as soon as we know, seeing that replay, which was pretty interesting. Good cutter there from Bobytskyi, drawing Bostrom up.
$15 all.
All right, 15-all is our score. All right, from up 4-love to now serving to stay in the match is Bobytskyi. Gives Sebastian Bredberg the high ball. Switch in the backcourt.
I kind of feel like Grangeiro and Bobytskyi's net play doesn't seem like they're on the same page, or they don't have a plan
30-15.
about who's hitting what shots. There's a little bit of hesitation.
Yeah, not a direct plan as to where they want to place the ball time and time again. And as we talked about, that goes from the partnership stuff.
I think we know you don't hit a down-up overhead.
Well, we said 1,000
Bredberg.
times, and they didn't eat that one, but they almost did. Like just a miss hit there from Bredberg. It's the play he's looking for. That's a great out of the air. Oh, well tracked.
Really great transition play there.
Oh, that was great kept by Bobytskyi.
He missed it.
40-15.
Well, we haven't seen those loose overheads in a while, and that's been the story of their comeback, actually. Now it's 40-15 for 5-all.
Yet again.
just missed it. 5 games
Game
all.
Bobytskyi, Grangeiro. Second set score is 5-5.
All right, now Bredberg to serve, and again, we'll see if he's righted those service games. He had the service troubles in the
15
beginning.
love.
Well, that'll help. Bobytskyi wants that one back. He's like, that's in my wheelhouse.
You got a great look on that ball.
Yeah, he just missed it.
Wow. Really
Gosh.
close.
I think Bobytskyi
30
was
love.
checking to see if it was in or out, and it was right on the line and right in the crease for a perfect winner there from Bostrom.
$30-15.
Wow. Nice dig. Well done there
Really
by
nice
Grangeiro.
get from Grangeiro out of that
It's
at
tough when
court
that
corner.
ball hits the lead cord.
40-15.
All right, point now for a 6-5 lead for Bostrom Bredberg. Great touch on that. So now we have a 5-3 lead as we go report from Jerry Viant in the Broad Palmer Max. They've taken a 5-3 lead in the third set. Oh, well played. He's got that
40-30.
touch, slippery backhand. Bredberg thought he could sneak over and get it, but too good from Grangeiro. 40-30. Great track through the legs. If we can get a picture of that too, we'd love to see that on the replay.
There it is again.
Got
From the
it.
down
This is
up.
Kelly, our production manager. Ooh, off the seam. Good. Keep his feet underneath him. See every now and then Sebi feinting and looking for blitzes. There it is. Deuce.
Deuce.
Goes well played. He saw him coming, put a little more pace on the overhead, didn't hit a push overhead there. Good spin overhead. Great action there from Bostrom. He's starting to gain a little bit of some traction with those and get more consistent.
Add
Great
out.
try. Sebi trying to anticipate those. Goes for the drop volley, misses it. We got a break point now here for Bobytskyi Grangeiro. So 40-15 down.
That was an incredible get out.
Oh, two
Deuce.
good nicks in a row. Well played there by, first one into the deuce court nick and then followed up with an ad court nick. Deuce. Corner of the screen, I think I see Broderick and Palmer being done over there, so that might be the end of that match, and if it is, they would have had to have won that. So
I think
we've got to report, and we do.
In the third.
6-3 in the third for Broderick Palmer, but what an effort from
Great.
former national champion Scott Estes and Nathan LaFerre. That's tremendous.
Add in.
Oh, a mistimed switch there from Bobytskyi and Grangeiro trying to create some backcourt offense, but end up with the error. All right, point now for 6-5. Great return and a great volley. That is so well done there by Bobytskyi. Held that drive, slid it in there.
Did he fake Bostrom out there, Brad?
You know what? I think he just couldn't see where it was going and then couldn't track it down. It was perfectly played. This is what they were trying to do the last point, the high lob switch. So after our match today, we'll do a last match wrap-up. And we're going to have live streaming tomorrow again for the men's semifinals starting at 9 o'clock. But this could be over in the next 10 minutes, or it could be over in the next hour and a half. Ooh, just missed there by Grangeiro. Good spot drive, just hit it a little long. All right, another game point here for Bredberg. Oh, what a volley. He's giving it the fist pump.
Bostrom,
That was a
Bredberg,
great volley
they
behind
lead
Bobytskyi,
6
who
games
should have let
to
it go
5.
because Grangeiro had it there, but it's tough. That's that partnership stuff we're talking about, Patty.
And you just have to make a split-second decision, and it just goes so fast. And so many times they make it look so easy, and there they just couldn't come up with it.
Yeah, but it's that kind of thing where when you play together more, you'll know when your partner's blitzing. And when the ball gets left, you're going to assume the partner you've played with a long time is going to be behind you tracking that ball down. Bobytskyi wasn't sure. You know, Grangeiro could have had that ball, so he ran back to try to track it down anyway. But he really had no play on the shot, whereas Grangeiro had it. So great volley, though, from Bredberg.
So this is a gigantic game, and we've struggled to hold serve with Grangeiro serving. And as the match goes on,
Well,
these are bigger moments, and
now or never getting
this
to
is
the
going to be a
tiebreaker.
test.
We're going to see if he's going to try and serve and volley against the Bostrom return or if he's going to stay back. That'll be interesting to see.
I say he goes in.
All right. He's in, and well, I'd say that doesn't count. I think he stayed back more or less. That's what you call, he played it in transition. If Bostrom would hit a ball that he could have handled that was soft and easy, he would have come in and volleyed it. Not, he lets it go through. Smart play.
And that's a great play when you have that quickness that you can make that decision based on the return of serve.
All right. Bredberg calls an out ball, but it lands on the line, so they transition back. Just
15
out.
love. $15 all.
There's the fault that we talked about, the pressure of holding serve to stay in the match. Goes for the soft serve, a little loss of confidence there, and stays back. Wow, nice spot drive, well played there by Bredberg. That's the shot he loves. What a get there by Bredberg. Incredible. Wow, that is a heck of a volley from Grangeiro there. And Bostrom compliments him, saying good volley. That was a great rip. And I think he just didn't, he was surprised by the force of the volley coming back.
Brad, what's behind the court there?
We got
Looks
a
like there's
ghost
a
on the
ghost.
hill. A meditating ghost.
40-15.
Someone's
Sorry, somebody
meditating right now.
At peace up there, watching the final part of this quarterfinal match here. All right, it's 40-15 for tiebreaker time. We'll see. That is a great play off the crease.
40-30.
Great overhead.
I look to Bredberg to shellac this return of serve.
We'll see about that. He's been playing more in play, and he hasn't been going for it. He's been more just putting it in. Well, went for it, but a conservative roller drive, looking for the blitz. Didn't get it. Great ball. Nice digs. Great play. I think that was wide.
Deuce.
Back to deuce. I tell you, Bostrom's got that sneaky pace. He hits it so heavy with such easy effort. Forces a lot of volley errors from people. All right, deuce. I think he's going to stay back again here. I don't think he's going to challenge the return of... Oh, no.
Add
He should have
out.
stayed back. Because here's the thing. He made the volley, but you got the Bredberg blitz behind it. Great play. Here it is. Match point, Patty.
And when you hit that first volley and you're on the service line, it gives way too much room for the guy to come through and blitz from the ad court.
All right, let's see what the play is. They're having a little discussion, Bobytskyi and Grangeiro. Putting it in. Good pace on that overhead. Oh!
Deuce.
Bostrom loves that ball. We're at deuce. Oh, great touch. Can't track that down. That next ball there. Good hands up there by Bobytskyi.
Add in.
All right, now 1 point for a breaker. We had our first match point. Now we're 1 point from a breaker here. The live formation are Australian. Soft controlled serve.
Deuce.
I think that's kind of been the story of the match a little bit. You know, this still could go 3 and it's still in the balance. We're not over here yet, but I have yet to find any consistent offense from the backcourt from Grangeiro and Bobytskyi. How and when they're going to hit it. And, you know, when Bostrom and Bredberg aren't making those volley errors or overhead errors, you know, it's hard for them to actually build a lot of points. Great blitz, great hands from Bobytskyi in that point. So again, 1 point from the tiebreaker. Oh, great volley from Grangeiro.
Again, a little miscommunication at the net, Brad.
It's the teamwork stuff we're talking about. See less of it in teams that play together all the time. Working Bredberg towards his backhand in the corner. Missed it wide.
Game Bobytskyi.
How about that?
Grangeiro. 6 games all.
Huge hold for
Start a
Grangeiro.
tiebreaker.
Tiebreaker time. What do you see here, Patty? Sticking with your pick, or are we going 3?
Sticking with my pick in 2.
Yep, I think Bostrom and Bredberg have the edge here, but will, of course, anything can happen. volley there by Bredberg. Oh.
Great hands.
Yeah, I'm not sure why he hit that so soft. I would have gone for a more aggressive volley there. Well done. Now, that was a nice point.
Grangeiro, they lead
Great
the
first
tiebreaker
point for
1-love.
Grangeiro and Bobytskyi there.
That was one of their better baseline points that they've played today. They kind of played as a team. Really nice teamwork going back and forth with their shot selection. Bobytskyi serving, up 1-love. Second set tiebreaker. I think that was long on that roller.
I tell you, though, he must feel comfortable with to break it out because he breaks it out at any time.
Yeah, I'll say. Wow, that was pretty close, too.
Oh, Bredberg just missing that dipping drive. But that's the ball you want to make him hit, not a ball that you can hit from high to low. So when he's going to be less consistent with.
1-3.
Great return serve.
Bobytskyi with one of his better returns. 1-3. Oh. Got to drop a little low. Didn't get behind it. All right, it's 3-2 now for Bobytskyi and Grangeiro. Grangeiro to serve. He's just pushing the serves in that last game they held. He's staying with it, just a soft push.
4-2.
Soft serve works.
Bostrom got pulled so far out wide. I almost thought he was going to take it up the line. It was wide open there. Bobytskyi had made a move to try to cover for Grangeiro a little bit, but Bostrom was committed to his cross-court return.
It's netted in the tape. 4-2. Five-two.
2-5.
Taking that second ball, popped it up when you don't have the advantage in the exchange. All right, so 2 points away from a third set here, Patty.
Two 6.
Big time shot there from Grangeiro.
That was a big time shot. And there it is.
Second
third set coming,
goes
Patty.
to Bobytskyi, Grangeiro.
Strange set there. You know,
7-6
down 4-love.
in the tiebreakers.
Coming back to 5-4.
7-2.
And then all of a sudden, tiebreaker and a loss.
We'll be right back
Same
in
ball.
just a moment after these messages right here on the APTA Network presented by eNet Live.
You start from here.
We do it well. We do it real well.
Once a customer gets used to that, why would you want to leave? We treat you well.
One of the biggest goals is to just get some of the top up-and-coming pros an opportunity to play at the professional level, getting to those events and paying for some of those expenses, keeping it to their expenses to a minimum, which then allows them to focus on now just winning rather than coming out of their pocket to try to perform at the highest level. Not too many of the pros get to make a career out of sports. That's what we're doing. Is we're living our dreams when every time we step on that court and we have an opportunity to compete at the highest level. It's what we dreamed of every moment we started from a young age to where we're at right now, and hopefully dreams to even be better than that.
Welcome back to the Duane Hayden Long Island Invitational. We're heading into the third set of our quarterfinal match between Bobytskyi, Grangeiro, Bostrom, and Bredberg. I'm Patty Hogan alongside Brad Easterbrook, heading into about our 11th hour of coverage here. Brad, I think this is a great opportunity for you to take us through the draw a little bit from maybe the quarters on and set up our semifinal pairings. Here we go.
Well, here we go. You see right there at the top, Broderick and Palmer with a war against Estes Lefevre. And but coming through, losing the first set 7-6 and then 6-4, 6-3, winning the next two. But great effort there by those two. And they're going to take on the winner of our match here between Bostrom, Bredberg, and Bobytskyi and Grangeiro. And then Hughes and Powers are on with a 6-3, 6-1 victory over Burke and McNerney, which is a nice run for them. And they get their nemesis again, Orion Morneau. I mean, Hughes and Powers, we've talked about this at various times through the days, you know, are solidly in third place, way ahead of the fourth place team. But yet they have not been able to beat Orion.
Not too bad.
In any incarnation, Orion Morneau or Orion Montalbano. And they have not been able to beat also Broderick and Palmer. So it's another opportunity for them to try and crack through. And we'll see what happens tomorrow morning. We're going to be live again tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. for some exciting semifinals. So what do you see here going forward in this third set? It's almost impossible to call. It's been swings, you know, some strange errors, then some good solid play. You actually got the feeling at one point there for sure that Bostrom and Bred were going to close that out. They're down 4-love. They go up 5 games in a row. They start to tighten up the game. The overhead misses start to dry up. And then kind of a little here, a little there. You know, Grangeiro and Bobytskyi hang around and play some clutch points. You see Grangeiro take something off his serve, and it's actually effective tactic.
And he held late in that set at 6-5 to send it into a tiebreaker.
Yep.
And you know, he's had plenty of breaks on his serve today, so that was an opportune time for him to break through and hold serve.
Yeah, so we're going to see what's going to happen here in this third set. Do you think there's going to be any kind of strategy change or anything different? I mean,
I doubt it, Brad.
Yeah.
Grangeiro and Bobytskyi are having a little chat. It appears there's an instructing moment going on from Coach Grangeiro here.
I think that's great for them to keep the communication going. They're alive in this match. They got a whole set to try and take this one now. Now they're talking about who's looking to hit what balls and from what parts of the court. And this is something I touched on the other day in our draw landscape, by Saver Tree with Jerry. As a new team, it's hard to know who's going to take the ball from where and where their offense is going to come from. And I do think that's been one of the trickier parts in this game for them to get that consistent offense in the backcourt.
Bostrom,
So
Bredberg, 6-4.
see if that conversation pans out.
Grangeiro 7-6.
So it looks like Bobytskyi's going to start serving the first game of the third set here.
Yeah.
Fault.
And a fault to start, and like we said, so that'll be the interesting thing.
Love 15.
See if they can pull together some good, consistent backcourt offense.
15
Missed
all.
him. Went for the body shot. That's an interesting play from a player. You'll see that from time to time. He didn't actually try to hit it in the court. He tried to body the ball, hit it into his framework with Bobytskyi, but you run the risk of hitting it long when you do that. And Bredberg did on that one, so it's 15 all. That's some great touch.
15-30.
But it's very dangerous hitting that three-quarter off-pace drive to a guy like Sebi who's on the net waiting.
Sebi kind of turned it on there, in that second set. Bostrom Bredberg had gone down 4-love, and
30 all.
he then got really active and I think was really creative in putting a string of points together. And I would look for him to try to assert himself here. He's pulled his socks up a little bit higher, I've noticed, for the third set.
Do you think that's offense mode if the socks are higher, Patty?
I feel like it's an offensive move.
Okay. Well, we'll keep you updated on the sock height of Sebastian Bredberg as well throughout the match. All right, 30 all. Oh, pushed it
30-40.
wide. How important is it to get off to a good start in the third?
I think it's really important. There's so many breaks of serve in the game, but right now someone's looking for momentum in their favor here, and this is a rough start here if Grangeiro and Bobytskyi get broken
Backcourt
against
switch.
the veteran team.
Wow. Easily tracked down and well tracked down by Bobytskyi.
Game, Bostrom,
There's the
Bredberg,
teamwork thing.
they leave
Grangeiro
one
should
love
have
in
easily
the
let
third
that
set.
ball that's spinning off the back screen right to Bobytskyi, and at the last minute he goes. And I don't, it's hard to pick up always from the court noise there, but I don't hear a yours or a mine or leave it. There's not a lot of that conversation there. So that's a ball that could have been put back in play. So a good start there for Bostrom Bredberg getting the break in that first point in that first game.
And even that ball, when it hit the back screen and broke and was going over toward Bobytskyi's paddle, I think he could have covered that shot for Marco.
Oh, easily.
Just because
easily.
Marco's
he was
not
right
played
there.
that much. Yeah.
All right, Bostrom starting off the set again. Started all three sets. First server for the team of Bostrom Bredberg. Another great drop to the side there. Oh, good smart leave though. If you don't have a good look at an overhead you think you can make comfortably, let it bounce, play from the backcourt. Nice dig. Great flat paddle face by Bobytskyi there. Bredberg taking a risk. Nice. This is a great point. spot there. So good with that hitting from Bostrom. Such a pure hitter of the ball. Nice transition ball from Bredberg. That's a great point.
love.
Best point of the match. It was awesome. That's just the first
love
point of that
15.
game. A lot of transition. Good play by both teams. Great ball into the crease there to finish that. Love 15.
First point, love 15.
It was such a good point they forgot what the score was. So.
Brad, this is one of those matches. It just seems like it's on a cycle. The points just repeat themselves over and over.
Love
and over.
30.
I think right now I've seen 3 or 4 overheads from Bostrom Bredberg where they're crossing the court to the guy's forehand and the deuce side. He's getting some good looks. They're going to have to curb that a little bit. Great lob. See if we get Sebi looking for one of those patented
Love
blitzes.
40.
Nope. A little bit reaching there from Bostrom. All right, triple break point. Let's get back to 1-all.
Brad, I'm still sticking with my pick. I kind of feel like it's Sebi and Martin's match here to lose.
Yep.
I feel like, in a way, even though it's so close, you feel like they're a little bit more in control of it.
That's a nice spot there.
40.
You will. Grangeiro's a great volleyer, but he will take chances from time to time at the net, looking for balls certain places. There he left his line open. And I think
hold on
Sebi
a second.
saw it. He just picked a spot, and
I
Marco
think
wasn't
Sebi
there.
saw him. I
You
think
did?
he saw that orange paddle move, make a little move toward the middle of the court. He went down his line.
I don't know if Grangeiro's telling somebody to turn their lights off over there, because there is a parking lot just to the right of this court. And you hear him talking to somebody out there, and very easily somebody could have their car on. The lights are shining through the trees over there, and that can be very distracting to the players. So he's out there. If he's not back in 5 minutes, Patty, you got to go out and check.
Okay. Brad will give you his paddle.
Me? Step out there? I didn't bring my shoes. Sorry.
Score is 15-40.
All right, 5:40.
$30-40.
Little gift back there. If Bostrom Bredberg hold, they're going to kick themselves on that one. Love how Grangeiro's looking in the middle for that ball now.
Deuce.
The blitz made Grangeiro change his shot at the last minute, netted it.
Brett, I'm really impressed with Bobytskyi's play here. I've just not had the opportunity to watch him before this, and he's a really cool customer out there. Really, I mean, I love his composure.
He's super even-keeled. That's his best shot, that backhand off the screen. Nice volley. I would not keep giving him that. He spots it well, too. Down line, cross court. Grangeiro's starting to feel his forehand a little bit. Just called
Point
long.
was good. Point to Grand.
All right, we have a little conversation here. I believe it's an overrule, and it is an overrule. He called it out, and Bostrom saying it's out by 3 inches. All right, advantage to Grangeiro and Bobytskyi. Oh. Oh, that's where you got to be just 3 inches taller or have a
Brad,
incredible vertical leap. Patty, come on, you would have had that one. You remember all those times you were blitzing forward to try to take that overhead spike? That was a good-looking move. You just couldn't make it. And then, again, the partnership thing. Bobytskyi was surprised he made the move and wasn't ready to cover the overhead. That went over Grangeiro there. Ah, tricky.
Tricky miss hit.
Yep. Nice playing there at the net from Grangeiro. Ooh.
Add in.
I said add in, but it's advantage to Grangeiro there. So it's break point.
I feel like we're destined for a third set tiebreaker, Brad.
It may be. Oh, good leave. Good leave by Bredberg. Good court awareness, good sense of where he is. The ball drifts wide. Smart play.
Brad, do you get paid by the hour for these matches? Because I do.
You get paid by the hour? I actually worked out a by the second payment schedule. Some of these long points, maybe we should get paid by the amount of balls hit. Oh, that's a nice volley there.
We are all volunteers. We are only kidding. Right now, if I'm Marco Grangeiro, I'm thinking, I just want to see one of those George Wilkinson forehands coming in, one of those rips out of the deuce court for Bobytskyi here.
Yep. Well, Bobytskyi's offense is different. He's more of a three-quarter roller offense. He doesn't have the thumper. Or at least if he has it, he doesn't take it out. You know, and there I think Marco just got a little antsy. He didn't see a ball for 20 balls, and he went for a little bit too much. But I love the way he kept moving his feet during the point. All right, game point for 2-love for Bostrom. Switching in the backcourt. And this puts Bobytskyi's screenplay shot in there, but it takes away a little the offense in the middle that Grangeiro sometimes has. goes for it. Great
Game
shot
Bostrom.
by Bostrom on the
Bredberg, they
short
lead
overhead.
2 games to love.
Cut drop shot winner. See, there's one of those games, you know, if this comes back, that they just couldn't quite close the door. They couldn't grasp it. It's been kind of not taking advantage of these things at the right times. That was big. Good hold there from Bostrom.
Love 15.
Same deal, a little hesitation on that volley there, kind of hedging his bets again on the
Well,
Bostrom return of serve.
You know, the confidence in his serve comes and goes for sure with Grangeiro. It's something that announcers have talked about in the past.
Love 30.
To me, that should have been positioned over in Bobytskyi's ball.
They're forming that wall, backhand's ready to go, and stuck that
I think
orange
that's
paddle
it.
out in front with a forehand.
All right, love 30. See, that forehand there is the kind of offense you get more from Bobytskyi, like the roller, not the
Love
thumper.
40.
Really fast game here.
Well, the one thing I will say about Grangeiro, they don't go away. They're going to stay in it. He's got a very positive mental attitude. He'll keep moving his feet. Great
Bostrom did a
teamwork.
little Bredberg imitation there.
Nice get there from Bostrom. Oh!
15-40.
Went off his leg, not off his paddle. Oh, wait. Leg or paddle? What do we got here? No, we got leg. We got the call. Okay. So it is 15-40 now. Oh,
Great off-speed backhand from Martin
Bredberg,
there.
they leave 3 games to 0.
yeah, they made Grangeiro play a couple of forehand volley flips there and missed 2 of them. So that was well-spotted ball. All right, 3-0 now. Now, we found in the match that the tendency has been when one team gets up, the gifts start to return back. We'll see if Bostrom and Bredberg could keep the ball rolling and keep pushing. If they play tight games, we still haven't seen the consistent offense from the backcourt yet from Bobytskyi and Grangeiro. I think they'll be able to push it through, but you never know if the gift overheads are going to come or a few balls here and there. And you know Grangeiro and Bobytskyi aren't going to go away mentally. They're going to be in there to the end.
So we've got Bredberg serving here, up 3-love, third set. This is a quarterfinal match, the Duane Hayden
15 love.
Invitational on Long Island. This is our third leg in our Grand Prix series.
Oh, nice. Oh,
15
miss hit.
all.
Yeah. Bredberg had a good look at that drive down the line. To me, it looked like he peeked up and just mishit the ball to see where Grangeiro was.
30-15.
Timely ace there. Great serve into the crease.
30 all.
You don't see that very often. Gene miss volley there from Bredberg.
He plays fast, doesn't he, Brad?
30-40.
Really fast game here.
All of a sudden, 30-40.
Game
Well, how about
Bobytskyi,
that?
Grangeiro. They are serving at 1 game to 3.
All right. That's the first game they needed. That's huge for Bobytskyi Grangeiro. Way to get out of the way there by Grangeiro. Oh, what a great track of the ball there by Grangeiro. Ah, great
Shot from
transition
Bostrom
play
there.
there. It's a great point. Switching again in the backcourt. Trying to feel which way works best. That's a nice spotted drive. He held it.
15
Saw a little opening down the line. Great first point. Oh,
15 all.
but a loss there. Now you notice actually Bobytskyi's putting in mostly a soft serve to either guys, especially to Bredberg. Where he goes with the roller one. Oh! Look at that.
30-15.
Gift and gift. Now watch this serve he puts into Bredberg. He's going to hit it softer. It's actually a smart strategy. He doesn't want it to fly off the screen. Great volley.
Pickup.
Rolled it there. Oh! Left board popped up.
40-15.
Wouldn't make the adjustment. Bredberg nets it. Huge. 40-15. Called wide.
Call stands.
Call stands. Now they're upset with the umpire having
I
two
think
calls
Marco
go
thought
against
the ball
him.
may have been good and looked like he put a, he's going to play it.
Not really sure what we got here.
Called.
Can't hear the
Ball was
umpire.
called wide, correct? Yes.
All right, call stands. 3 games to 2 now for Bostrom Bredberg. Bostrom to serve.
And that's kind of a tough call, Brad, when you're up on that chair high on that near sideline.
Yep. No, it's not easy up there, but you do have a good vantage point. Me, I thought it might have been wide.
Game
And,
Bobytskyi,
not sure Bostrom was
Grangeiro,
questioning it, but you did
Bostrom,
see
Bredberg
Bredberg
are serving at 3 games to 2.
have a little question about it. But I like it when the umpire stands firm with his call, doesn't waffle. It's very important for an umpire to have good, strong backbone, not let the players bully them or browbeat him into any kind of call he doesn't think is right.
Love 15.
Ball was long. Oh, great ball. Well
Love
placed.
30.
Love 30.
Really solid baseline play from Grangeiro in this game. These first 2 points, a lot of lobs hit in between Bostrom and Bredberg, and creating a little bit of indecision. Got the nice open cross court forehand there.
Great
Love
move.
40.
Thinking blitz. Love 40. I've seen a little energy drop, I think, here from Bostrom Bredberg. And usually when energy flows one way, it usually
Bobytskyi,
flows back into
Grangeiro.
the other
score
guy.
is
So
3-3.
definitely feel like Grangeiro and Bobytskyi are pumped up here.
New ball.
Time for a new ball. Left Grangeiro service game.
Sebi got rid of that other ball nicely with his signature soccer kick.
All right, check to see if it's around. Spinning it. The ways players tell, when you spin the ball, if it's oblong in nature, a little out of round, usually shows up through the rotations.
Last one I got.
All right, he doesn't like it. Wants a new one.
No, we don't. We can't need another. Good.
I think the umpire may have just thrown down his
He
last
said, that's it.
ball that he came
Last
onto
ball
the court
for
with.
you, Marco.
That's right.
Otherwise, he's going to take his balls and he's going to go home. That's it.
So
No
we're
more.
at 3-0. Another huge serving game.
All right, here we go.
for
3-all.
Grangeiro.
That's great. Staying back. Oh, great track, but it can't
Love
make
15.
it. Good shot there by Bostrom.
Love how calm Bobytskyi is in his play both at the net and on the baseline.
Very calm.
All.
Yeah, you haven't seen Sebi get involved with blitzes or moves around at the baseline or looking for any of those opportunities and where that was sort of a half-hearted attempt at a drive there. Underhand serve. Great play.
30-15.
Caught him off guard.
Bostrom takes the bait, misses it long. 30-15. I love that. That's like Michael Chang in the French Open.
Wow, he caught the back of the line on that
Yeah, I
underhand
was
serve. Brad.
waiting for an out call that didn't come.
30 all.
Didn't get ready with the backhand volley. Great shot there.
Just when you said Sebi hadn't been moving a little bit, I think
Yeah, well,
he...
we haven't seen the blitz and that move, and they've started taking away that high to low ball. All right, I do like that underhand serve for Grangeiro, strangely enough. I think it's a good pace change.
It beats faulting, Brad, or a ball that's sitting up high for these high ball hitters.
Absolutely. Great track. So quick up there. Good read. Nice.
Really good dipping ball.
You know, Grangeiro's definitely starting to feel his forehand. He hasn't made many less errors in this third set right now, and he's starting to draw a beat in the dips and the pace. He's getting a better read on that. There's
40-30.
another decent forehand from Grangeiro. All right, game point here. Huge to be down 3-love, and now we'd have another 4-game swing if they take this point here in this. A lot of swings in this match. There it is, the underhand
Game,
serve.
Bobytskyi,
Smart play.
Grangeiro, they lead 4 games to 3.
Thinking his way through it. Love it.
And it's so weird, Brad, how lots of matches, you know, go back and forth, maybe 2 games at a time. You just said a 4-game swing.
Yep.
It's quite a streak.
Yeah, in that second set, we had, you know, Bredberg and Bostrom down 4-love, only to win the next 5 games to go 5-4, and then it was a back and forth affair where you actually thought Bostrom and Bred were going to close it out, but then hang around, take the tiebreaker. Now this one, Bostrom and Bred were up 3-0, and then right away 4 more games there from Grangeiro and Bobytskyi.
It's quite an angled volley. I thought the ball was almost going out.
Love 15.
Shot.
Talk about it all the time with your students about the percentage of shots that you have to lob from the baseline, and all these guys can light it up from anywhere on the court, but you can see that 80 or 90% of the shots are lobs until they create some kind of an opening for them to put a little, you know, try to get a ball at their opponent's feet.
Right.
They'll take a swing on the return of serve, and then they just really have to work the point. And that's because all of these guys have such high-level volley skills. There's not the immediate reward of driving so much during the point if the guys are perfectly ready and have their paddles set for the shot.
No, absolutely. And you know, I mean, Drew Broderick started years ago even making famous, like, letting the return and not going for a big drive. You see even less big drives even off the return of serve these days because you don't want to miss the return. All Alright. Oh, great play from Grangeiro. Slippery drive through the middle.
Wow.
Oh
That's
boy.
an unbelievable get.
Easily transition. Grangeiro's looking very laser focused over there. Hard roller at the crease. Good lead
15
there
all.
by Bostrom. Ball's a little high, goes up shoulder, puts his paddle down instead of reaching up for it. Great play. In all, a lot of work for that point. Oh!
30-15.
Miscommunication at the net again.
But Marco took 4 shots in a row, maybe 1 or 2 that Bobytskyi thought he was actually going to hit. And so then Bobytskyi just totally backed off there, and little problem.
Great return. Grangeiro is really feeling his forehand now.
30 all.
He's raised his level. He's got his feel.
Great little backhand shot that caught Sebi.
30 all. That is a bad shot. Got to be very careful with that. Good anticipation by Grangeiro. Wow. 40-30. You feel the tension sort of ratcheting up a little bit here, Patty?
Yeah, I think it's getting a little tight out there.
Deuce.
It is. Deuce.
Add out.
Great return of serve from
Well,
that
the
deuce
offense
court.
is heating up from back there. Grangeiro's forehand is heating up. He's getting feel on the dinks and the spot drives. Bobytskyi's putting a little more on it. We got the door moving. What do we got here? Another car, possibly. All right.
Marco seems to be on car patrol tonight.
He is on car patrol.
Is that an elected position? Self-appointed?
I don't know if it was self-appointed. Just the man for the job, Patty. Sometimes you just know who's supposed to be doing.
Can't need any more. We're good.
Again, as we mentioned before, there's a parking lot up to the left, and this late hour you have some people coming and going. All right, break point. Grangeiro. Great rip. What a dig.
Phenomenal catch.
And spun back into the net. Oh,
Game
there's a
Bobytskyi-
highlight. If we can
Bobytskyi,
capture that again
Grangeiro.
and
They're
show that at
serving
the
at
end of
5
the game,
games
that would
to
be
3.
amazing. How about that? 5-game swing now. Now serving for the match is Bobytskyi.
Wow.
That was a heck of a ball. Starts with a fault.
Love 15.
All right. Got a report from George Wilkinson, who knows Sebastian Bredberg better than almost anyone, that Sebi is starting to cramp up a little bit. And you can see it there. He's still working hard, but definitely all the paddle in a day can take its toll.
Love 30.
First forehand I've seen Grangeiro miss in a while. He's been on with that. So we'll see if that cramping takes greater effect as this goes on. What a hit. That's going to be tough to track down.
Love 40.
Maybe he went for a little more there on the return, Brad,
That's
because
a
he
great
wasn't
angle.
interested in playing a real long point.
Yeah, I'm not, I haven't seen it manifest itself yet, but take George's word for it for sure. He knows these players really well. What a volley.
George is kind of like a detective, isn't he, Brad? Kind of like a spy. Sometimes I see him dressed in all black, stealth-like.
Ninja skills.
1540.
1540. All right, one break erased. Break point erased by Bobytskyi and Grangeiro. There's the soft serve, a missed return.
3040.
Missed lob, missed return after all that hard work.
Bisky stayed back, wasn't even going to come in on that.
That's our money ball there. It's the Boston return. So good. Grangeiro, one of the best in the game at that block volley behind the players.
Now you hear Grangeiro and Bobytskyi calling the shots. Or I should say we hear Grangeiro calling the shots out.
Marco has definitely stepped up his game here in this third set.
What a pickup from Zone.
Oh, goodness
Game
gracious.
Bostrom,
He
Bredberg.
sees an opportunity. I'm not sure what he
Bobytskyi,
was going for
Grangeiro-
there.
Grangeiro
Was he
serving
trying
at
to hit
5
him?
games to
I
4.
think that was, and he just caught it way late. Bredberg's getting off the court. Overstruck it. Wow, what a break there. I tell you, every time it turns one way, it turns back the other way.
Shout out to Save It Free, Viking, and Uline, our sponsors of our APTA throughout the year. We thank them for their support. of
Excuse me.
all the
Bostrom,
APTA's
Bredberg
ongoing
serving at
initiatives.
4 games to 5.
All right, well, Bostrom Bredberg have not held serve in a while here. Prior to that break of serve, they lost 5 in a row, so we'll see if we can get a hold here.
Brad, when you say that Bostrom has one of the best serves in the men's game,
Just
you're
not
talking technique and the amount of spin that he can generate, pace and spin on the ball, and the action that you see off of
Love
it.
15.
and I think you just jinxed him into a fault there,
I think
Patty.
I did.
But it's just
That's
a
the other
hard
piece
serve
of
to
serve.
drive for most of his opponents. So they actually opt to lob. I mean, they're still in the points. That's the interesting thing about paddle. There's many ways to try to win the point, but it's harder for a lot of opponents to drive Bredberg serve, Bostrom serve. All right. Oh boy.
Love 30.
Love 30. Yeah. Sluggish getting to that one. Maybe that is the cramping. Oh, I tell you what, if he is cramping, that slow dink that brings the guy back into the net and pushes him back, it's brutal. It's a great play to use. Nice dig. Wow, what a volley there. Great ball there from Grangeiro. Triple
Love 40.
match point. And there it is. Two faults in the
set,
game.
and
Game,
match to
set,
Bobytskyi,
match.
Grangeiro.
Patty, any thoughts on the
4-6,
match?
7-6.
Well, I just thought the two announcers
6-4.
kind of screwed up the picks, but that match went back and forth.
But
I
tell you
thought
what,
Bostrom and Bredberg, just with their experience at a team, would have been able to pull that match out. They weren't. All the credit to Bobytskyi and Grangeiro for coming up.
But tell you
Great
what,
shots.
they really raised their level down 3-love in that third set. And We'll be back tomorrow at 9 a.m. for more live coverage of the men's semifinals. And that's a wrap, delivered by Uline.